So right now what we're gonna be doing is going over Casper. He's in the chitty chat right now. He sent me this thing on Instagram. But yeah, we're gonna watch his crash, and then I'm gonna read kind of like what he said on here. So here we go. Okay, so we're riding a little red bike. There's the left turner, and there's the impact. I don't think we're gonna watch the rest of that. I just want to watch the rest of the or just watch the crash part. But so I guess his gloves. The reason why he doesn't have any gloves because they stank really bad. So no gloves. New ones were arriving the next day. One quick ride. So he was going from the doctor. He was in a car accident 2 months prior where he was rear-ended at a stoplight. Okay, so we're getting some nuance, some context. I need to trim my beard a little bit. It's a little crazy right now. They said the guy's speech, or he said the guy's speech was a little concerning, so I'm assuming he's kind of drunk, right in the chat, right there. But here's the main thing: 9 dislocated fractures, so I guess there's some fractures there. Required some surgeries, some external pins to treat, and he still can't curl his toes all the way. Oof. So he was unable to walk for 2 months, but 2 months to the day got back on the same bike, and the next day on his new R7. The R7 was delivered to him literally as he got home from surgery. Oof. Very nice, man. Very nice. He started riding because the girl at the time he was dating started riding, but they never rode together. Aw. So once again, we have somebody in that left turn lane. It's a crappy situation, but it's what we got. It is an intersection, so we're gonna be in orange stage, kind of prepped and ready, making sure. Now, if you don't know, the MTC awareness stages are right there. So orange stage, you're covering the brakes, you're looking for escape routes, you're kind of on high alert. Yellow stage is what you're typically in throughout the moment. You're zoned in, but orange stage, you saw something. Intersections are a big one. So we come up to here. It's a left turner. Starts to move. Didn't see us. Inattentional blindness, whatever it is. Whatever it is. So what do? Right? Let's keep an eye out on that right hand. Okay, and we start making some decisions here. Now we can do some progressive braking. So that's going to be, applying the brakes and slowing down and stopping. We aren't going super fast. I can't tell. Let me sec. We're probably going 25. 25. That's pretty speedy in a parking lot, but not on the road. I mean, you do your test in a parking lot when you're like 40. Okay, so 25 to 40. I think that's what it looks like. But we're getting up to here. You can now either apply the brakes or swerve into your escape path. It looks like we're about to swerve. So we're going for the gap right now. We're going for the gap that is closing. I mean, it's the biggest one that we see, but we're going for that gap. Well, that's where they're going to. I'm hoping they would stop, but they didn't. We already know the outcome of this. So then, am I single or seen zone? I am single. We could choose to apply the brakes, the front brake. We talked about that at the MTC Rider Academy. But we are shooting out towards this just like they are. Okay. So when we talk about brown stage, it's not necessarily like, hey, yeah, it's funny because it's brown because you pooped your pants and whatnot. But it's really going to be something that's going to show you that, hey, what can we do to practice? Like we failed this, we panicked here. What is it that we do need to practice? And hopefully we can walk away from an incident. But this is why we're also doing this, so we can watch somebody go into brown stage. It's like, okay, what can we practice? And you're going to see with his right hand kind of the panic. So let's take a look. I'm going to go ahead. How do I make it? There we go. I could do that. So keep an eye on his right hand. So we're going to do 50% right now. You see the acceleration? So let's take a look at high speed. So there's the shut off of the throttle. So we're shutting off the throttle, hopefully reaching for that front brake, but then we accelerate. You see what I mean? So we shut off the throttle. We're in the middle of a swerve because we're thinking we got to brake. And then it's like, no, I'm not going to make it in time. So I got to accelerate. That's going to be something that, what are we doing? Right? Are we swerving, accelerating, braking? We went through a lot of wasted movements, and that's not a big problem. It is for you because you couldn't walk for 2 months, but for us, we're going to learn from it. So what can we do in this situation? Well, we can stay straight up and apply the brakes. We could do some good progressive braking. They're already breaking the line, right? But we chose to swerve. Okay. Well, if we're going to swerve, we got to get out of there. So we shouldn't be shutting off the throttle. We should shut off the throttle to apply brakes, but we're shutting off the throttle to swerve. No, we either accelerate or maintain. And that's when you start to realize. And that's when your bike jumped up. You see the bike jumping up? You see that jostle? Let's take a look at the jostle. It jumped you. So lots of wasted movements. It's going to kind of mess with your stuff. And how do you practice that? You practice in a parking lot. You practice your swerves. You practice your braking. I'm working on the new course right now. I'm working on the book right now. That's going to really emphasize that, treating it like it's a workout. So we went right in front of them. So if we applied the brakes, I mean, let's take a look at how fast we actually are going. Get an idea of the speed. Not too bad. See how we're kind of going slow? Not too bad. Now, could we have applied progressive braking and allowed that car to go? Because remember, we're not trying to stop. We're just trying to get out of the harm's way. So if we applied progressive braking, allowed that car to go, we barely miss it, or we allowed that car to go or apply some progressive braking so our space cushion can basically, stay maintained so that when they do go, you can swerve left into the opening. These are all things that we're discussing so that we can learn from this. Now, obviously, that's not what happened. I'm speaking to you like, hey, this is what you could have done. It's like, well, yeah, this is what you could have done. But remember, this incident, thankfully you're recovering, but this incident's helping everyone else learn. Okay, we're putting ourselves in your shoes. What could we have done? And then hopefully we learn from that. So let's take a look at it one more time. Yeah. So for those of you that are watching this after the live stream, what is your take on it? What is your take on it? But hopefully doing better. 2 months, still can't walk, or you couldn't curl your toes, couldn't walk for 2 months. No good.